Hi, welcome to the channel. Today's video we're going to take a look at a slightly vintage tent and one that's been stored in the shed for 14 years. So it's never been taken out of the shed, it's stayed in there all year round. So it's a bit of a video about what kind of condition is this tent going to be in. So as you know, I've been buying quite a few vintage tents recently, and I've tried to get as much history as I can from the previous owners. When was it purchased? How often did they use it? When was the last time they used it? What kind of conditions have they stored it in and stuff, just to find out really what we can expect the condition to be in. So some previous owners said, oh, you know, they're taken out of the bag once a year and they edit and stuff. Some of them may have reproofed it sort of fairly regularly. But this one here has just been stored in the garden shed all year round for 14 years. Never taken out the bag, never taken out the shed, just left completely in those conditions. So I wonder what it's like in terms of the material, whether there's any damage to it, whether it still feels usable or not. So the tent itself is quite interesting. It's a ProAction Hike-Lite one person tent. The design from the image, which I'll bring up on screen, looks almost exactly like my Nordisk Svalbard one. So it'd be interesting to see how it looks when it's pitched. It's quite a compact little one-man tent, but it's pretty heavy. It's just shy of 2 kilos. I think it's like 1,959 grams. It's got a 100% polyester fly sheet with a 2,000mm Hydrolac head, and it's got breathable polyester inner, and the ground sheet is a 2,000mm polyester as well, and it's got aluminium poles. So not the most waterproof tent in the world, and polyester, I'm not sure how brilliantly that ages, but let's get it out and get it pitched and just see what it's like. And if you're wondering why I'm in the garden for this video, a bit of a heat wave here in South Wales, and my car is completely packed up and is stuck in the garage and has been for a few days. So I figured I'd save the carbon footprint and leave my partner's car at home. And instead of going to a local hill to pitch his tent, I would just do it in the garden if I can get out of the bag. Bit of sand, bit of mud on it. So far it's looking exactly like my Nordisk Svalbard tent in terms of design, exactly the same shape. 2 aluminium poles. They seem okay. The shock cord seems fine. Seems to go together okay. And the material here seems alright as well. That pole's absolutely fine as well. Well, that's the inner pitched. It's a really nice little tent actually. Plenty of height to it. Looks like it's going to have decent separation from the outer as well. Plenty of mesh material around the tent. So there's generous amounts of mesh at the head end as well, so that should really help avoid any condensation from where you're sleeping. There's really good height at the bottom as well, where your feet are going to go. So it's actually a surprisingly spacious tent. So just under 2 kilos, I think the weight is actually it's a fair weight. The Svalbard, the Nordisk one, which is a very similar design to this, is 2 kilos. I'm not sure if that one is quite as tall as this, but I will check the measurements and let you know. Again, a couple of little mesh panels on the side that's replicated on both sides of the tent, and a good bit of mesh panel at the top. So far, really impressed with this little tent. It looks really good. Wow, that's the fly sheet on. This tent does come in other colours. I've done a little bit of research and I can't see it for sale currently, but there certainly have been some on eBay, and they are coming in different colours as well. Weirdly, this tent was actually given to me by my brother recently. He found it in his shed after I started doing the channel and said, you know, do you want it? Because he hasn't got any use for it, obviously. Hasn't touched it for 14 years, so doesn't have any need for it. But then weirdly yesterday, one came up for sale on Facebook, locally to me, absolutely brand new, same colour, exactly the same thing, £10. So I snapped that up as well. So I think for £10, the other one is brand new as well. It's a really solid little tent. Obviously, it is almost identical in design to the Nordic Svalbard, but I'm imagining this probably predates the Svalbard, so I guess it's just one of those tent designs that's fairly common. And I know that there's other companies that have got similar ones as well. But it's got plenty of height. It's not particularly tight. I've not bothered tightening up or anything, but there are adjusters on every point of the outer, so you can tighten it up nicely. Yeah, what a cool tent for £10, and reminds me of my orange Van Gogh tent, which I got for £25. That was the first budget tent I bought for the channel. Seems like a long time ago now. So yeah, I can't see any obvious signs of its storage impact. There are some slight discolouring on some of the material, which I'm not quite sure how that's occurred, but some slight black miscolouring. I guess the real test would be to take it out in the rain and see if it's still waterproof. It looks like it's sealed. Obviously I like my Svalbard one. It's very tough, wind tests up to 90 miles an hour, but you're not going to find them for less than £120 even used. So if you like that design of the tent and you want to save some money, then here we go. Available for £10. What a bargain. You can obviously tie these to the poles as well, which I didn't do, and there's another tie-off point at the top. So yeah, you could do that and it would be a bit tauter and sit a bit nicer, but there's no point just for a little look around. So let's have a little nose inside. Yeah, so very much like my Nordic Svalbard. You've got a really pointy little end. You've got enough space to store your boots in the little bit of vestibule. Plenty of height to sit up in. So again, I'm 5'11", plenty of space above my head here. And really tall in the footprint, the foot end of the tent as well. One little pocket. It's actually marked as being from Argos. There's an Argos tag in here, and it meets some BS 5576 standard from 1998. So, no idea how old this tent is, but it seems to be a bit of a family heirloom now, handed down the generations. But no, this is a really solid little tent. It's got a tension band running from underneath the main pole across to the other side as well, with a bit of extra strength. Feels pretty sturdy. It's got a hanging point for a lamp. And again, I think if you're in the tent, my feet are comfy at the bottom. I've got miles of headspace above me. I've got room for a pack here. No, this is a really nice little tent. So I'm not entirely sure what to do with these tents now, because now I own two of them. Obviously I'll get out and camp in them, but maybe I should give the brand new one away at some point, because I realise I've not done any giveaways or anything like that now. So if that's something you're interested, drop a comment and let me know if you're interested in some giveaways and stuff. I was thinking of trying to build a whole loadout for like £100 and give that away. So backpack, you know, sleeping bag, the whole works. So again, let me know if that's of interest to you in the comments and stuff, because obviously I've never done a giveaway. I've got no idea how it works, how you select people and stuff. So yeah, do let me know. Right, so the ProAction Hike Like one person tent. That's a quick look at it. It's a quick look at what kind of condition you can expect the tent to be in if it's been stored in the shed for 14 years without any kind of interaction at all through winters and summers and all the rest of it. So obviously we don't know if there has been any damage to the material in terms of its water resistance, in terms of its tear strength and stuff, but it doesn't feel any different to other tents I've taken out of bags recently, whether they've been new, slightly used, a couple of years old or whatever. So I think the message is, if you do have an old tent lying around, don't just write it off, because you might get many, many years of use out of it. So to put that to the test, I'll take this up and do some wild camping in it at some point. But I seem to have an absolute massive backlog of tents to use at the moment. I need to use my little one, I need to use a couple of new Saunders vintage tents I bought. I've got 2 of these. I've still got this Unigear Space Dome I've not used yet. So the bargains seem to be coming in thick and fast on eBay and Facebook, faster than I can actually keep up with pitching them and camping in them. So I will get around to doing that. But yeah, if you've got any old tents lying around, let me know in the comments. And if you have got them out recently, pitched them at all, let me know what the condition's been like. And if you've taken them out in any rain, has the material still been waterproof? Because obviously the material has got a sort of waterproof properties from the material itself, but a big aid to that in terms of increasing the time it takes to wet out is any kind of the durable water repellency coating on the outside. So if that has gone, then the material could wet out and soak through in heavy rain. So that's one of the dangers of an older material. But obviously you can reproof things as well. But no, I think that's a really smart little tent. So obviously I did pick up one brand new for £10. So I will definitely do a video on that when I'm out camping, because that'll form part of my less than £100 setup. So yeah, if this has been of any interest to you, drop the video a like. And if this kind of content appeals to you and stuff, then obviously do subscribe to the channel. We are a whisper away from 3,000 subscribers now, which is absolutely amazing. I couldn't believe how well it's gone. And this week we did hit 250,000 views as well, which has been absolutely amazing. So I'm going to keep the content coming. I'm going to keep with the 2 videos a week for the time being, every Monday and every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. If those times don't really make sense to a lot of people, then do let me know in the comments as well, because I kind of, they are just arbitrary times I've chosen, so it should be earlier or later, let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.